This is the JP News, now in 4K. Tonight's feature, International Overdose Awareness Day. Good afternoon. This is Homer the Talking Dog for the JP News. Today we are at the Rose Garden in Central Park in Schenectady, where there's going to be a candlelight vigil for International Overdose Awareness Day. Please join us for a meaningful event.
Your dream.
Yo, Eric, your roommate is Romeo.
That's what it's important because you're going to make sure those things happen. One thing about when you put your I couldn't fuck away from it. I turned my head in.
I don't know.
My name is Jim DeSantis, and I'm a co-founder of Breaking Barriers. Breaking Barriers is a local RCO in Schenectady. An RCO is a recovery community organization. And the concept is just to kind of, if you picture a wheel, the Breaking Barriers wants to be the hub in the center of a wheel, each spoke being a different resource in the community. So this is our kind of coming out party for us. This is the first event that we've ever held. And the concept is, again, just kind of getting our name out, getting organized within the community, and celebrating life. And so we decided to have a candlelight vigil on International Overdose Awareness Day to celebrate life and to kind of just remember that people's lives matter no matter what the situation is, and that the concept is we miss these people and love them, but that we fight in their memory to make life better. I went to Need Choices Recovery Center. I'm up here with 13 months and 20 days clean. And Need Choices is, I went through their halfway house, and when I went into that program, it was way different than when I left the program in general. And there's been some changes there, and this is one of the major changes, but this change happened recently, and this is like growth in a direction, and it's like my main support. New Choices is the one place that I know that if I need advice with life, if I need advice with this advocacy group, their doors are always open. They probably work an extra 20 hours a week just because of me, really. And I just want to give them a chance to introduce their program, so.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. What a beautiful night to celebrate a life-free of addiction.
So I'm Laura Combs, the clinical director at New Choices Recovery Center, and really the hope is the people here, the community. It's prevention, treatment, and recovery, and we want to be part of all of that, but we can't do it alone. It has to be all of us together. And I'll let Nancy speak for a few moments about our new prevention program.
Yeah, we're resurrecting the prevention program in Schenectady County. We're bringing people back together again. There's a lot of voices out there, a lot of people trying to do things, and we're trying to get you all back together. We're bringing back the coalition, for those of you who remember that, and we'll get together and we'll really make a difference. We've made a difference in the past. It was a few years ago, but we can do it again, and we can keep it going this time. So I'm hoping to put all the treatment facilities out of business in Schenectady County and have no one suffer from addiction any longer, but I don't think that's going to happen. However, I'm going to work towards having prevention so every child has a healthy, wonderful life, and every person has the opportunity to be the best version of themselves. So,
thank you. Hi, my name is Rima Sarone, and I am co-chair of Team Schenectady. We were founded as a subcommittee for the Schenectady Millennial Council when approached by the New York National Guard Counter Drug Task Force. Our focus is prevention within the city and doing anything we can to engage community members to help reduce drug abuse and, most importantly, help end this heroin epidemic. We meet the second Thursday of each month at the City Hall. We invite everyone that wants to participate with discussing and finding solutions. Everyone here is part of the solution. Thank you.
So I'm not the best public speaker ever, but hi, my name is Alicia Morocco. I'm a case manager with SCAP. It stands for Schenectady Community Action Program. The program I primarily work in is called Supportive Housing Solutions. We work with chronically homeless individuals who also have substance abuse. We also work with veterans. And I just am standing here today to really say that SCAP in the community is here to support individuals in recovery and also individuals that may not be in recovery. If you know anyone, send them to 913 Albany Street, and you know, I'm happy to be here, and I'm here to support my customers that I work with every single day. So thank you very much.
We weren't prepared for this either last minute, but myself, Dolores, and Mike, we work for the Schenectady County Jail as forensic peer mentors. We service clients that are getting out within 8 to 6 months of release back into society. We try to help them before they come out. A lot of people are working with mental health inside of the jail, and a lot of them, that's the reason why they're there, and it causes other issues in their lives. So we're there to try to keep them out of jail, to, give them some encouragement, some help with finding housing, their doctor's appointments, different things. I work with the females and Mike works with the males, but he also does an outside program, a group. You want to tell them about the group?
Yeah, I work at a reentry group for guys that are released from jail. A lot of guys in jail are dealing with mental illness and substance abuse problems, and it's basically just showing the guys that, somebody's out there for you, looking out for you. It's been there, done that. That's it.
That's our program. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ashley Pollack. I'm one of the case managers for the Schenectady County Drug Court program. Drug court is an opportunity for individuals that struggle with alcohol and drug addiction to try recovery instead of just go to jail. We have individuals in the program who are charged with misdemeanors or felonies, so they're facing either local jail time or prison time, and we know that historically incarceration doesn't really do much to address the problem of addiction. So I proudly have been working at drug court for 10 years, and it's my honor to work with people who take the chance to try recovery instead of just going to jail. We're really active in helping everyone get their needs met while in the program, treatment, but many other things, housing or mental health, all the things that they need. And when a person graduates from drug court, they get more of a positive disposition from their criminal charges. So the purpose of it is to help them rehabilitate themselves and give them a chance to become productive members of society again, reunite with their families, have things that they've always been dreaming of in terms of home, job, belonging to something. Jim has been really active in the advocacy group and in drug court, and just having a purpose and a place has been really special for him, but it's really helped our program immensely. When individuals graduate, we do have an alumni program, so we try to support individuals staying connected to us for a long time after they graduate, and we do find that those that have been doing that have been staying sober and continue to do so. So I'm really proud of all that as well that we've been doing in the last couple of years with enhancing our program, making it even better. So
I'm writing a short story about Richard Sedimo, who passed away in Arizona in 2001 due to his struggles with heroin, to honor him and his life. I met Richard at college in 1972. We eventually were married in 1972. We were together for about 7 years when we separated and divorced, mainly due to his usage and struggles to stay clean, when he was not able to achieve that at that time. We remained friends for many years up until his death in 2001. We would speak periodically. He would reach out to me for help and referrals to treatment, as by then I had gone into the addiction field. He was instrumental in me choosing the field and to try to help others struggling with this difficult issue. He was always interested to know what was going on with me, my family, and my 2 children by my second marriage, whom he met one day in Price Chopper and was enamored with them. He had always wanted children of his own, but was unable to, a direct result of his years of drug use. I always checked up on him periodically to see how he was doing and to offer support and help if he needed it. Richard eventually moved to Mesa, Arizona when he finished college and was beginning to write poetry and get some of his writings published. He passed away in Arizona. He'd finally given in to the hopelessness and torment and struggles of the addiction which he had fought for many years. Richard was a brilliant, charismatic, warm, and loving person who did wonderful work over the years with animals. Trained seeing eye dogs, he had a real gift with animals. He worked at Odie Heck in the autistic unit. Again, had a real gift for relating with compassion, firmness, and caring to those less fortunate in this world. He was a corrections officer for a period of time until he was beaten up by the older COs for trying to defend some of the inmates from abuse. Also worked many years in construction and was involved in the union. Richard had a great sense of humor, a huge heart. He loved children, animals, and all people and God. He was spiritual and attended church regularly and was striving to forgive himself, as he felt he was a disappointment in God's eyes. I also wanted to somehow honor him in his life. He was essentially beautiful and a spiritual soul. It was so tragic that he couldn't seem to find his way out and embrace and stay with recovery, which he did achieve on and off over the years. He was instrumental in changing my life forever in a positive direction. He taught me about acceptance, compassion for those who are struggling, seeing more shades of gray, and about the importance of family. His death hit me very hard. There was a void when he had been gone. It would be interesting to see what he would do if he was alive today. With this horrendous heroin epidemic, I suspect he would have become some type of spokesman and helpmate, as in spite of all his own struggles, he always did his very best to be there for others and their struggles with compassion, help, and support.
I lost my friend Rick Frankenstein in 2014. I still think about him, think about how proud of me he would be today. He drank very heavily, and that's what I think killed him. He did a lot of pills. He was suffering. He was in a lot of pain. Back issues, neck operation. So I kept asking my friend, how's Rick? How's Rick? I saw him that Tuesday. He looked fine. A couple of days came by. He had passed away. It was on a Friday. And it broke me down, because he was like my brother. We did everything together, we partied together, worked together, but for you, Ricky.
My name is Ryan, I'm an addict. I lost my little cousin, Pedro, in March of this year. I lost my little cousin, Pedro, in March of this year. And although it was a very traumatizing experience, I know that because of him moving on is what keeps me going forward and not ever trying to pick up heroin again.
Good evening, everyone. It's wonderful to look out here and see all these photos lit. Yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of my niece's death. Libby didn't live in this community. She lived in a community downstate. And one thing that we have, a lot of times, there's a lot of negative things said about Schenectady. But I have to tell you, nothing like this happens in my hometown in Westchester. They don't talk about it. The addiction is so bad and so rampant. And like Rima said before, we are the solution. Every single one of us out there have an answer or a hand to put out to somebody in need someday, maybe tomorrow, maybe a week from now. But I think the positive thing is we have a great spirit here in this city, and don't ever let it die.
This is my daughter Abigail. She died April 10th.
2010 from a heroin overdose. I had to have the cops break her door down with a sledgehammer, and I'm the one who found her. I have never felt so helpless in my life when she was going through her addiction. I had no idea where to turn to or who to ask for help. I had no idea these programs existed. And so I beg any of you who have somebody you love and cherish going through this, do whatever it takes. Anything you have to do, you do it. Because I don't want to see anybody go through the pain and the heartache that those of us who have lost a child have to go through. Thank you.
About a week ago, I lost a good friend, like so many of us have before, and the pain's real. I feel it more so because I know the struggle. I'm in recovery. I've gone through what he went through and what so many other, I mean, at this point it's like countless. I can't even give you a number because I feel like every week I hear about it. The epidemic is so strong. I think the best thing that I had in my life was my family and my friends. You know, the strength was always in me to do it, but I didn't know how. And the people around me are the ones who really gave me the strength and the push that I needed to get clean and to work hard at it and to take it very seriously. And I was very, very lucky. I know a lot of people who didn't get that opportunity. And I wish they could be here today with me, with all of us, and be able to see, everybody here doing this for them.
I grew up in a house, addicts. My mother was an addict, my father was an addict, heroin, more. Something I never tested out, but just being around it my whole life, I was always a caretaker. I always caring for my sister and caring for my mother and supporting whatever I had to support. So coming up, I was just, my heart was just always big, and I'm always taking care of whatever, taking care of who, or taking care of this, you know what I mean? So, I was always a worker. I worked in 3 jobs. I let a girl in my life, who happened to be an ex-heroin addict at the time. Ended up slipping, and trying to get her out of this. Like, they say you always fall in love with your mother, and it was just something that happened in my life. And people, like, it's serious out here, man. Like, there's people dying every single day, and it's one person can't just help one person. It needs to be everybody. I mean, it's ridiculous out here. I mean, I'm in this situation for trying to care for somebody, and you know what I mean? There's not much more, one person can do for one person. It's got to be everybody around, because I mean, this town is just falling over from this sickness, and it's sad. It's sad. But I really just wanted to say I'm glad everybody's here, shows the support. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Brought me to a meeting, begged me to come to the house to watch football with him, stuff like that. Like, he's just a great guy, and he was really caring. And when I finally got back to the house, he was at the house for a month longer and got his apartment. And him and I were big football fans. He was a Raiders fan, and I'm a Bills fan. And the Raiders were playing the Bills on a Thursday night, and it was a Monday, and he tells me, "You're coming over to my apartment to watch that game." And much to my chagrin, because I knew what was going to happen, and he'd never let me live it down, I was planning on going over there. I saw him Wednesday at noon. So last time I saw him, I talked to him Wednesday night. I called him all day Thursday, couldn't get a hold of him at all. By Friday at noon, I knew something wasn't right, and me and a close friend of mine went to his apartment to look for him, because we knew something just was off, because he doesn't just disappear. His door was chained but open, and that is when I knew there was a problem. So we called the people we needed to call to get in the apartment. He was laying there dead with a needle in his arm. And that really affected me for a number of reasons. And that is maybe the main driver of me starting this group with a good friend of mine. And that's maybe one of the main drivers of me trying to really take this serious and get my life straight and finding spiritual connection with God and some level of peace. And so in his name is Russell W. And I would just hope that everybody could keep him in their prayers tonight. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Eric, who has a few words to say, and then the Reverend, okay?
By the power and spirit of our beliefs, we ask for a safe and heavenly journey of all those who have passed this way and into the spiritual realm. We call upon the hearts of all those present today to give prayer protection for our friends, our family, and all those in deep struggle with their addictions here and abroad. That they may be strengthened in soul to fight the evil essence of drugs, and no longer be the walking dead, but of bright minds, bodies, spirits, and souls for the living and the legacy of life. In this moment of deep silence, we ask for empowerment and vision so that we may see ourselves, regain our strength, and make the quality of life for others great and wondrous by our own blessed magics. We pray humbly with great light from our hearts and from our hands. Amen.
Amen. From today forward, in all our days and their memories, and every action that we do be in the best ability to remember them as great people and use them as motivation to continue to fight against drugs and continue to fight against all drugs, not just heroin. And we come together as a state, as a nation, as a world, and fight this disease with everything we have. Can we take that moment of silence, please? Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
And thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. I want to give a round of applause to everybody that came here, so thank you very much.
All these flags represent 660 veterans that take their lives every month. We have an epidemic. Our soldiers are coming home. They don't know how to be a civilian anymore. My take on it is they do so many tours, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tours, and they come back, they don't know how to be a civilian again. We need more help when they come home. They deserve the help when they come home.
What was your son's name?
My son was Sergeant Raymond Wolakowski Jr.
Okay. And he was in the Iraq War?
He was in Iraq, Afghanistan, he was all over the world. He came back to the States. His unit moved a couple times, and he retired in 2014 after 20 years of service, honorable, and 2 years later, the PTSD was still there. He succumbed to it 2 years later.